Hi there. Thanks for your interest in learning about the SiNi 3ds Max plugin, Disperse. In this video, I'll give you an overview of the basics and follow this with a more detailed project. Disperse is a tool that allows artists to paint with 3D geometry and third-party proxies directly in a scene, similar to using 2D painting software. We designed it to be lightweight on the graphics card and allow for exporting back into edit mesh and proxy formats if necessary. This allows artists the option to export to game engines or real-time rendering software as well. Disperse is designed to paint 3D detail on small areas. You manually paint objects with a digital brush. It also includes the ability to replace scene objects with selected Disperse objects. If you're ready, let's take a look. To access Disperse, head on over to the Create tab and scroll down to locate the SiNi Software Object plugin tools. Click on Disperse and in the viewport, drag out the icon. Then head back to the side menu and click on the Modify tab. I'll drag out the UI to reveal all the rollups. The first is Stats. Next, Display Settings. Distributed Objects, use this to add objects and set their transforms. Then Painter, Color Variation, Exclusion Splines, Camera Clipping, and Export to Geometry. Click on the question mark on the headers to open the help docs. If you want to rearrange the UI, simply drag the roll-ups by holding the top right corner and moving it. You can also close all roll-ups by right-clicking over the plugin. I'll reposition it to give me more room in the viewport. Okay, I'll start by adding a few objects: the cube, cone, and sphere. They are listed in Distributed Objects and duplicated in the Painter. To demonstrate, I'll select the box in Painter, select the single brush, and paint in the viewport. I'll do the same with the cone and sphere. You can see they all show as pyramids. In Display, I'll change the setting to Original. I can also switch to only display single object types, or switch back to all objects. In Distributed Objects, I'll now add some random transformations. Tick the checkbox to activate. The two columns represent low and high values. You can see if I adjust the scale value, it randomly adjusts the sizes of all objects. In rotation, I'll adjust the Z value to 360 degrees. Then adjust the Y values and X. The N value represents the object normal direction. Use these to maintain vertical orientation. I'll show this later. For now, I'll remove the XY values and scale. Then I'll select the box. You can adjust these values as well. For example, the N normal value is set to 100. Set this to 0 degrees for vertical objects such as people. In Painter, I'll select a multi-object brush and paint in the viewport. I'll erase that using the Erase brush. To adjust brush size, use the hotkeys Ctrl-Shift and Ctrl-Alt. Now, I'll use a single brush. I'll adjust the collision distance and paint. It's too close together. I'll erase that and adjust the collision. I'll also change the angle snap to 45 degrees. You can see in the viewport, the brush snaps to 45 degrees. I'll change it to 90. Painting a few objects looks wrong. That's because I still have random transforms on. If I switch it off and repaint, you see the object direction is now set by the angle snap setting. However, I'll delete that mess. Next, Paint on Self. This allows objects to paint on themselves. I'll stack some blocks. You can see the brush changes orientation to align to the selected face. I'll delete that. Make sure Erase on Self is selected to reach those stacked objects. Now, using a multi-brush, you might want to adjust each object's paint percentage. By default, each is set to 100%. I'll leave the box at 100%. Change the cone to 50% and sphere to 25%. Painting in the viewport again shows the updated object percentages. I'll erase some of these to clear some room. Then click the last brush, which replaces scene objects with the selected Disperse object. I want to replace these teapots with the selected box object. The checkboxes allow you to replace all instances in the scene with the Disperse object, and if checked, the Delete checkbox will delete the original from the scene. You can see Disperse has placed the box in each teapot position. I'll switch Random Transformation back on to demonstrate. Okay, time to clean up the scene before I move on. Exclusion splines. These are used to exclude areas. I'll create a rectangle. Then back in Disperse, I'll add the spline to the list. You can see it removes the Disperse objects. If I move or update the spline back in Disperse, click Update All to refresh the distribution. Camera clipping removes objects outside the camera view parameters. To demonstrate this, I'll switch to camera view and render the scene. If I then adjust the field of view expansion, I can include objects on the camera view periphery. Color and texture variation. You may wish to add visual variation to the objects in Disperse. For this example, I'll add this teapot. Then, paint a few objects in the camera view. I'll do a test render to show them. Now, if I turn on Color Shift and re-render the view. Oops, nothing changed. I'll adjust the hue shift and re-render. You can see everything has slight hue differences, including the original objects. I'll increase the hue and saturation to make it more obvious. Nice, right? That's really not what I wanted. I really just want the color shift on the teapot. No problem. Further down the roll-up, click Material Name Filtering. Then open the Material Editor to get the material name. Add this and click the plus button. If I re-render now, only the teapot is using color variation. I'll make further adjustments, making subtle variations to the original material. You may want to export the objects rather than keeping Disperse as a single selection. I'll use proxy. Select the location to save the proxies. All objects are exported. You can see in the viewport that proxy is displaying as pyramid. Check out the proxy plugin video to learn more, or if you use V-Ray or Corona Renderer, you may wish to export to those proxy formats. That's it for the Disperse overview. In my next video, I'll create a project scene using Disperse. Jump onto that now and I'll see you there.